So in this section, we're going to learn the HTML fundamentals. And there's certain things you need to know about HTML. So we've already taken a little bit of a look at HTML. We built a basic web page, and we saw the basic tags that you need to use to create your web page, right? We had the doc type, and then we had the head tag, and then we had the body tag. And inside the head tag, we nested a meta tag, which showed our car set UTF-8. And then also we had the title. And then in body, that's where you put all your code that you want to appear in the viewport. The code you want to create the web page that's going to show up in the viewport, the browser's window, that goes in the body. So we already saw all of that. The next step, the next thing we have to learn to create web pages are some HTML essentials, the fundamentals. And so here they are. We're going to learn file naming conventions. So this is something that like a lot of people don't talk about, books don't cover, but this is what you need to know. And I do talk about it. This is awesome. You're in the right place. File naming conventions. File naming conventions. What do you name your files? What should be the name of the main file for your main page in your website? It's index.html. We're going to go over that. Folder naming conventions. How should you organize your code? Essential tags. We're going to go over some essential tags like the heading elements, the paragraph element, unordered list, ordered list. We're going to look at Emmet.io in more depth and start seeing how do we use Emmet for code completion. It's an essential tool for building web pages. We're going to see tag attributes. And so to see attributes on tags, we're going to learn all about what attributes are. We're going to look at the link element, the image element, the anchor element, and then again, we're going to look at the paragraph element. And we're going to see how we can add an attribute to the paragraph element. And then we're going to talk about relative versus absolute URLs. So this is something that, you know, people, again, it's like often overlooked and not talked about, and people can be working on the web for a long time and still be confused about relative and absolute URLs. I'm going to make it clear for you. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to do comments, how to write comments in your code, and we'll talk about why that's important. And then the last thing we're going to do, the last thing you're going to do is I'm going to give you some hands-on exercises so you can practice all your skills. Because to really solidify, if you're anything like me, there's three types of learners. There are the visual learners, there are the auditory learners, there are the kinesthetic learners. We all use all three of those unless you happen to have some impairment. But everybody has a strong type. I'm a kinesthetic learner. And so to learn, I have to do. And I've seen this over and over and over with students. And it's just like an axiom in life, right? It's just like one of those truths, those universal truths. If you want to get better at something, you have to do it. It's time on task. And so I'm going to give you some exercises to do. And I really strongly recommend that you do these exercises because it's going to reinforce everything I talk about. So you're going to learn the theory, and then you're going to apply the theory, and then you're going to see the solutions, my solutions, so I'll show you the answers. So that's what we have lined up in this section. It's going to be awesome. It's the next step. You're doing great. You're doing so great. You made it through all that, choosing your IDE, setting up your development environment, figuring out GitHub. Woo! You're doing awesome. So you made it through all that. Now it's going to be a lot more cruising, That GitHub stuff, that's a hurdle for a lot of students. So good on you, as the Australians say. You made it this far. You got through that GitHub stuff. It's going to go a lot better from this point forward. All right, let's get started.